Right, Mr. Josh Aveste, what is rule 1 of supporting Chelsea Football Club?
Never get your hopes up.
Never go against what this channel says, in my opinion, because I can stretch us back a long way when we really looked out of favour, and I said, and I'm not even going to go on about what I said in terms of Chelsea qualifying for Champions League, securing Champions League football, which we have, of course, done. Do you remember one specific thing I said that might or might not actually relate to Chelsea when I spoke about the race for Champions League football? What did I say happens every year?
That people bottle it at the end of the season?
You get to the end of the season and no one even wants it. Did I say that or did I not?
Can we just say, mate, I don't give a fuck what happened to the other teams. Chelsea are in the Champions League!
Get in!
And not only are we in the Champions League, we're in 4th fucking position.
And we're going to fucking win it.
On 69 points, mate. We've done it. Who gives a fuck about what happened in the other games? Who cares about Aston Villa bottling it at the last minute against Man United? Who cares about Everton beating Newcastle? Chelsea have done it. We did what we needed to do. We went to Nottingham Forest, a really difficult place to go, a team that have been imperious this season, and we have only fucking gone and done it.
But I mean, we spent £1 billion, mate.
Oh,
haven't we?
God,
so,
yeah.
You get old Carragher and all of them absolute melts tonight going, well, they should be in the Champions League. They've spent £1 billion. Where did Man United finish this season, mate? There you go, Gary Neville. That one's for you.
By the way, Cara was saying that there's no way Chelsea finish in the Champions League this today. Yeah. There's no way it will happen.
No
mate,
chance.
Honestly,
No
just stop the punditry, mate. It's not working out for you, Cara. It's not going well.
It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
It's
not looking good. Who it is looking good for is Chelsea Football Club. Ultimately, we could have gone to Nottingham Forest and lost the game today and still qualified for the Champions League. But the boys have completed 50% of the mission. And to be honest, in terms of what it means to me, they've completed 90% of the mission at this moment in time. We've got a free hit now on Wednesday night. I couldn't give a fuck whether or not, now we've secured Champions League football, we go and win that trophy. But being that we are Chelsea Football Club, we will of course be going and winning that trophy. But that is a topic for another video, which will be recorded tomorrow, come out for you guys on Tuesday morning. Let's speak about today's game. I have always said I don't care whether it's pretty, whether it's ugly, it just needs to come. And by hook or by crook, we got over the line today. And unlike the performance against Man United, where you could maybe argue that we weren't the better team in that game, I think you take the game as a whole. I don't think you look at the run of play. I think you look at who stepped up in the most important of moments, and therefore Chelsea were the better team against Man United because we stepped up when it counted. But even if you go on that game and go, well, Chelsea won against the run of play, I don't think that's something that you can say for today's game. I think that the run of play was only against us in, the first 25 minutes or so?
Yeah,
or would you disagree?
No, I think we came back into the game really, really well. I mean, look at it. Look at the key chances, really. I mean, Pedro Neto, he should have got more of a foot on that chance, so he skies it over the bar, doesn't he? Then you have to say, if you're fair, that Forest had a good chance with Chris Wood.
Yep.
And then obviously we have our goal chance. I think we had other chances other than that, to be fair. I remember the Noni one that he put over the bar. There were other chances, weren't there, for us, to be fair. So look, mate, we've gone to a place which is, as I say, not an easy ground to go to. A ground that was totally up for this game. And we've done the business. So I think that should be rewarded. I remember we said at the very start of the stream, and really all sort of day long, if we go to Forest and we actually get the result, we deserve to be in the Champions League. Yeah. Like, if we win the game.
And I mean, mate, the biggest argument will be for the team that we played today, Nottingham Forest, when we talk about who deserved Champions League football this season. But I might piss off a few here. I don't think I've got a whole raft of Aston Villa fans watching my videos. And I've got nothing against Aston Villa. Good club. I enjoy watching them play. I enjoyed watching them in the Champions League this season. But if you go on league form, who deserves Champions League this season? I'll tell you who. The teams that deserve it are the teams that by hook or by crook have finished in the Champions League spots. And do you know who have finished in there? Who's probably the least deserving of it?
City.
I
would agree with that.
Let's be honest.
I was just looking at the table then to try and figure out how much they actually did deserve it. They've got it. They've scraped their way in, really. In terms of City's performances, in terms of where you expect City to be, they've scraped it. They've only just got in.
Not just that. Like, if we look at the teams that are qualified, Newcastle have a 20-goal a season striker. I don't know whether he's officially hit 20, but they've got a 20-goal a season striker in Isaac. The only team that have qualified that haven't got that on the last day is Chelsea in total. Obviously, in total Arsenal, but they'd already qualified for it, right? I think that if you've got that at your dispense, then you should rightfully be qualifying for Champions League football. So there's no excuse for City not to qualify for Champions League football. Yep. So let's be honest, by City standards, to scrape it on the last day, they're the only team in there that we're going, right, maybe they don't deserve it. Nottingham Forest, maybe they do deserve it, but it's all irrelevant. Who deserve it are the ones that have finished in there. Yep. And Chelsea Football Club have finished in there. Enzo Maresca needs to come in for some praise. I understand that people feel that the performances in the second half of the season were nowhere near as good as the performances in the first half of the season, and I would agree with that. What I would argue against it, I'd say that in the first half of the season, we didn't beat Man United when we played them. We didn't beat Liverpool when we played them, you know? And we didn't beat Nottingham Forest when we played them, did we? Was that a 0-0 draw or a 1-0 draw? It was a draw, regardless, right? So we didn't beat Nottingham Forest when we played them. In the second half of the season, we have beaten Man United, we've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten Nottingham Forest. Games that we didn't win in the first half of the season. So whether or not the style of play reflected what we wanted to see as Chelsea fans, and I would completely understand, and I would encourage you to let me know your thoughts on this. When it's mattered, we've turned up. And is that down to Enzo Maresca? I feel we should always give the manager praise. I feel we should always give the players praise because they're the ones that went out there and did it. But a lot of it comes down, whether or not we've got it on different kits right now, Josh. Would we agree? A lot of it just comes down to this.
It does.
A lot of it comes down. People won't like this. A lot of it, my friends, come down to football heritage. That is what it comes down to, yeah? And when the chips are down, when it's time to deliver, yeah, Chelsea fucking deliver, my friend. Roman Abramovich, Todd Boehly, Egg Barley, or whoever the fuck else you want to talk about, Ken Bates, Chelsea Football Club deliver when it's time to deliver. Long before Roman's empire, that was always the case. And when it was time to deliver at the back end of this Premier League season, that's exactly what we've done.
Let's talk about Enzo Maresca then for a second, because I feel like this was a sliding doors moment in the way that we would remember him back, in the future. This could have been a game in which he loses, goes into a final with immense pressure, looks back on his season and go, yeah, we let so many easy games slip between our fingers and our grasp. And yet, really now, what is going to be remembered by is a guy that got us back into the Champions League, allowed us to then go and sign the players that we need to sign in the summer and really push on next season, and a guy that really has pushed us to our highest finish in a very, very long time.
Well, the most credit you're ever going to hear for Enzo Maresca will be off of this channel, by the way, and the likes of Benson and everyone else, all the Chelsea fan channels. I'm sure they'll be paying the credit. What you will hear tonight when you listen to the Gary Neville podcast, favourite guest on that probably being
Gary Neville.
Who
copied who?
Yeah, he copied the Joey Knight podcast. When you listen to that, when you listen to the Sour Grapes in the studio, that of Jamie Carragher and whoever else, you'll hear a narrative there.
Didn't get into the ground, did they, Jamie and Gary?
No, of course they didn't. They can go fuck himself. Well, you'll hear a narrative there, right? You'll hear a narrative there that, of course Chelsea should have qualified. They've spent $1 billion. What you won't hear is the fact that you speak about the job that Enzo Maresca's done today in being able to go to the City ground, get the 3 points against Man United, who, whether or not they're having a good or bad season, they ran out 2-0 winners against Aston Villa today in a big match. You can never rule them off. Whether or not you'll hear the praise, we've got to remember Enzo Maresca has gone to the City ground today with a goalkeeper who, let's be honest, for the majority of last season and parts of this season was almost the laughingstock of the Premier League. It's only Onana's performances that were taking a little bit of heat off of Robert Sanchez. He's gone there without the most expensive defensive signing in the club's history, I believe.
So Wesley Fofana.
In Wesley Fofana, who was a mainstay of our defence. It was down to his own inclusion, but he's gone there without Trevor Chalobah, the man that knows the club best, the only man that really, apart from Reece James, has survived that Champions League squad that went and won it. He's gone there with, let's be honest, a Cole Palmer who is out of form by his standards. He's gone there without a recognised centre forward. Whether that be Mark Yu, who was on the bench today, who has never really played at any sort of level, apart from in the Conference League and the odd substitute appearance here and there for Barcelona. You know, he's navigated the Nkunku situation. We could have started him in there today. We'd have probably been worse in doing so. But he's not started him. Whether or not this board bought him in, I don't actually think it was this board. It was under Roman. It was a pre-agreement. But whether or not he was bought in for 52 million, whatever it was, he started without Nkunku today. He's gone there with a squad, what I'm trying to say, and a starting 11 who it would be completely dishonest to say that they don't have their deficiencies. This is not £1 billion starting 11 or squad he's gone there with. This is, I'm not going to call it a team full of misfits, but this is a team that still has plenty of work in to do if we're to maintain or build on this season.
This is the duality of different clubs right now, right? We have just finished 4th with the youngest team that the Premier League might have ever seen in terms of squad age, right? We are by far the youngest squad. And then you look at it and you go, yeah, well, how does that then compare to a team against like Man United, right? We've got a team of absolute kids that are just bonding together, building a squad, building collective sort of like personality together, versus a team that have, you know, Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, players that have been there, done that, you know, at the very peak of their careers. Do you know what I mean? Like players that have a huge name, huge reputation. And look at how different it is. The board were given so much shtick. They were given so much pressure. People were saying they don't know what they're doing. They brought in some young players that have huge potential and talent. Some of them haven't worked, but the majority of them actually have. And they got us to a point now where we now can fill in the gaps with 1 or 2 players, you know, buy elite level strikers, buy elite level wingers, buy elite level another centre-back potentially, right? Then bring back Petrovic, get a goalkeeper in. Then you've got a spine of a team that you go, yeah, do you know what? We actually really do back those boys. We actually do have a potential here to really muck it in the top end of the Premier League. Our fortunes could not be more disparate from a Man United right now, a team that are falling apart, whereas Chelsea now on the rise with a huge potential. We really do now have to say this is incredibly exciting times. And for you guys watching at home, this is brilliant. You know, think about it right now, how much we've got to look forward to.
Regardless of the Conference League final, best moment so far under the Boehly, Clearlake, Blueco tenureship?
Think easily. Can't think of anything that compares anywhere near it, to be honest with you.
And I'd like to ask you the question, and this might be determined by Wednesday night's game. Regardless of what happens Wednesday night, has Enzo Maresca had a more successful first season at Chelsea Football Club than Mauricio Pochettino?
You have to say yes, don't you?
He's finished higher in the league.
You have to say he's got more points. He's got more points. He's finished higher. I think you've got to say it. And this is the thing. You and I mean, maybe you so less, but I was a huge fan of Mauricio Pochettino. I really respect him. I didn't want him to go. I put my hands up now. I didn't want him to go. But
do you want my view on it?
Go on.
My view on it is that Enzo Maresca's had a better season than Mauricio Pochettino. And Mauricio Pochettino has played a part in Enzo Maresca having that better season. So here's what I think, right? The Graham Potter era, right? Let's say Enzo Maresca had followed Graham Potter. He doesn't do what he's done this season.
No.
Doesn't do what he's done. Because Graham Potter, did not lay foundations in the way that I perceive Mauricio Pochettino to have laid them. Whether that be knowingly or unknowingly, he has laid foundations this season that a Graham Potter hadn't laid, right? A Frank Lampard hadn't laid. Bruno even hadn't laid, right? So I think that if Enzo Maresca had followed any of those 3 managers I've just said there, I don't think he has as successful a season. Whereas I feel that following the likes of Mauricio Pochettino, there are foundations in the way of players like, obviously, a Cole Palmer, a Noni Madueke. He's not flavour of the month right now, and I completely understand why, but a Nicholas Jackson has laid this season. There's a lot of Nicholas Jackson goals in there that wouldn't have, that wouldn't have been there had it have not been for the persistence of Mauricio Pochettino sticking with him at times when there were other options at the club at that time. And also, another thing that I'll say here is, if you look at the likes of Cucurella, I mean, when did Cucurella come good?
Mauricio Pochettino.
He came good under Mauricio Pochettino.
He did.
Playing in different roles.
Yeah.
Mauricio Pochettino originally inverted him. So this isn't a day to sing Mauricio Pochettino's praises, but I think it's right that we've earmarked that in the video at that point. Now let's speak about today's game in general. What went right for us? What went wrong for us? In fact, fuck what went wrong for us. We're celebrating. We couldn't care less about that right now. Who are the players that we need to speak about right now in a positive light? I'm going to start you off. We're going to hit each other with different players at different times. I'm going to start you off. And I've always prided myself on the ability to hold my hands up and take responsibility for my words when they've needed to be taken. I think there's been times when anyone who's a long-term watcher of the channel will understand that I've been wrong on players. I was wrong on Kukurea. Josh hopes that I'm wrong on Mudryk. One man I don't know if I'm ready or not to say I'm wrong on, but one man that I do want to show my appreciation to right now is Robert Sanchez. I thought he had a good game today. I thought he made little, if any, mistakes. There might have been one in there that you could really shine a magnifying glass on, but for the most part, I thought he was really good. I think he was assertive in his decisions today, coming, picking balls out of the air. There was that one opportunity where Chris Wood gets near post side of him, and if Chris Wood had found the target there, he would have scored that goal. But, you know, there's maybe attacking chances that we could label out and say, well, if he had found the target there, he would have scored like the Pedro Neto chance. But just quickly, do you need a little bit of grooming, TLC, ahead of a big summer? Beard looking a little bit ratty, or what about a shape up downstairs? My advice is to do what I do each and every time, which is look at my best. And by the way, this doesn't just happen by accident, because I am one of over 12 million men worldwide who use Manscaped. And you could be too by using my code JoeyKnight, all one word. There's a link in the description, and that will get you 20% off your order and free shipping. Now, I've been getting quite a lot of compliments recently, and that is all thanks to the Beard and Balls bundle by Manscaped. And in that bundle, you have got the Beard Hedger, your go-to precise beard trimming tool. We've also got the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, which is tasked with taking care of everything below the waist. Now let's get on to the Beard Hedger, which offers you customizable trimming with 20 different settings, so you can adjust your beard length with ease. And it's got skin-safe technology designed to minimize nicks and irritation around your face. But what about the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra? Well, that offers interchangeable foil and trimmer blades, ensuring a smooth and comfortable experience even in those sensitive areas. And with both of these bad boys, you get some serious long-lasting power. 60 minutes of runtime with the Beard Hedger and 75 minutes with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. And not only that, both devices are waterproof, meaning that you can use them in the shower and clean them easily afterwards. And they've got a travel lock, meaning that you can use them comfortable and safely in transit, and it won't drain that battery. Manscaped offers a 30-day money-back guarantee so that you can try the Beard and Balls bundle completely risk-free. So join me in looking as fresh as you possibly can, and use my code JoeyKnight to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Just hit the link in the description and that will take you there. Thank you very much to Manscaped for sponsoring another video. Let's get back into it. I think for the most part, I think you can't fault Robert Sanchez's contribution today. Definitely had busier days at the office in terms of actually having to make saves, but I think that Robert Sanchez is the first man that I want to name as, you know, being very thankful for in today's contribution. But I think you've probably got a better one for me when it comes to the defensive line. Anyone you want to give a shout out
to? Yes,
I
do. I think Levi Colwell is the one that we've obviously got to shout out. I mean, it's an easy one for me. You've set me up beautifully there. He got the goal today. I think Levi Colwell is one of those players that so many people have been questioning his actual ability.
Why?
Which I find
I get this mental. On every fucking video. People go, Levi Colwell's not as good as you think he is.
He is.
I don't think you sit and... If that's your opinion... If you sit and watch Chelsea 90 minutes twice a week, fine. No problem with it. No problem. We've all got different opinions. Yeah? But at the same time, I don't feel that people see the bits that don't make the Sky Sports highlights, the match of the day highlights, things like that. I don't feel that people see those sort of last-ditch interceptions, clearances, things like that, putting your body on the line for Chelsea Football Club. And remember, the man's been thrust in to... There's not many tales like Levi Colwell's into becoming a mainstay in a team competing for Champions League places in such an important position? Can you think of any?
No, but also, just to say, he's 22.
Yeah.
Like, when have you, like, in the Roman Abramovich era, when would we have ever played a 22-year-old centre-back in our team? It just literally wouldn't have happened. We had imperious level, like some of the best centre-backs in the world in their prime, late 20s, early 30s, like asserting themselves. Like, think about a young John Terry having to come into a team like this that were falling apart. Like, John Terry might have had a very different legacy.
But there's a key difference there. John Terry had Marcel Desailly
This is
one
what I
side
mean.
of him. Yeah,
That's what I mean.
He had Graham Lasso the other side of him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? These are senior players that have done stuff, that have won stuff, experienced players, yeah? Levi Colwill hasn't got that. He's got Tosin Adarabioyo, a man that, was a mid-table club the season before and Championship the season before then. If not, he's got a man in Wesley Fofana who can just about make it onto the pitch, and the best thing he's ever done is win an FA Cup, maybe you could say. He's not got a plethora of experience next to him like a World Cup winner in Marcel Desailly, and a man in Graham Lasso, who I'm guessing was the right back for the most part when John Terry first came into the team. The left back, sorry.
Yeah.
Who would he have had next to him then? Probably more star-studded players, if we're being honest, right? In coming into that team, it's completely different to what Levi Colwell's come into. Yes. The only player I can think in a similar vein, you can maybe look at Saliba and say that, okay, well, Saliba probably not far off, maybe 2 years off that same age. I'm not sure, I'm guessing here, but 2 years off that same age when he came in and became a mainstay at Arsenal. But there's a reason why he's now rated as one of the best centre-backs in Europe.
But Real Madrid want him. That just shows you, literally, he's going to be a Real Madrid player and tear it up for them in the near future. He's going to go there and be brilliant. So
Levi Colwill has pretty much started every minute available to him in this Premier League season. And maybe it's the sentiment of today's video, maybe it's not. Maybe it's the free apple juices that I've had that are now clean. But I'm not going to have any slander against Levi Colwill.
Never again, mate.
Never
again. I don't want any comments ever again talking about Levi Colwill not being good enough. The guy is the starting centre-back for Chelsea, regardless of who we bring in.
Well, here's a question for you, and it's a question for the Real Betis preview. But another man that impressed today and did exactly what was asked of him was his centre-back pairing in Tosin Adarabioyo, right? Has he done enough today to warrant a start in the Europa Conference League final? Because before you answer that, I'm just going to lay my cards on the table. It's a slight spoiler for Tuesday's video, but I'm going to put it out there. I want to see Trevor Chalobah start in that final.
I think this is the game you have to start, Trevor, especially if he's not going to be at the club anymore. It's even more reason to start him.
But is there room for sentimental gestures in a European final?
Definitely. I mean, we're starting Jorgensen as a goalkeeper. That's not sentimental, is it? But
Touche.
I mean, yeah, but he's not the starting number one goalkeeper. So
it kind of is sentimental because he's got us to the.
Yeah, he's got us there, hasn't he?
Whether we agree or not that Jorgensen's probably a better shot stopper than Sanchez and maybe doesn't make as many mistakes, we're not going on recent form, we're going across the board overall. Whether we agree or not, if Jorgensen was the best goalkeeper at the club, he'd have started today.
Yes, he would. What about other players then that we can shout out? Anyone else that you want to give a little flowers to?
100%.
Come.
The big dog, Reece James.
Reece James.
Your doppelganger.
Yep, and there you go. Takes after the good looks.
They call him the white Reece James. Reece James, absolutely.
But on the Tosin point,
yeah,
really good to have experience and players that have been there, played at the top level, and to give some comfort to those young players all around them, cool heads. There was a moment in which he did almost do sort of like a ready-made sort of huddle of players. I think it was about 70-odd minutes in. And that was exactly what you want from Reece James, your captain, in that moment, isn't it? You want to be able to bring those players along, cool the heads down in moments where they might otherwise sort of be transitional, give the ball away. All we needed to do was see that game out.
Do you know what's really encouraging as a Chelsea fan at this moment in time? I don't know whether I should even say this or not because I really don't want to jinx it. But at this moment in time, do you know what we're not doing with Reece James?
Come.
We're not watching him with our hearts in our stomachs.
We're not
watching him
behind the sofa
thinking, "Oh no, please don't make that last ditch sprint. Don't stretch yourself for that challenge." Yeah, I don't want to say. No, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
But I'll say this: it's so good to have him back in the team, back in the starting 11, and not have those worries. Reece James, I'm sorry to say it, and I know there'll be a lot of people saying that the Caicedo right back experiment is a way to go, and that gets Lavia into the team. I'm sorry to say it, but I would play Reece James week in, week out next season and just see how it goes.
Do you have confidence in that? Now,
I almost don't care now. I think you've got to try it. You've got Malo Gusto that can come on and
in terms of
deputise.
availability, do you have confidence in that?
I think so now. I think he's proven.
I mean,
enough.
how long has he not been injured in?
Yeah,
I know he's had that one match out, 1 or 2 matches
he's
out
had
of the
a few
match day squads,
moments,
and they're almost like they've always
Yeah.
said they're precautionary. Nothing's happened. He was ill, this and that, whatever. When they say he was ill, sometimes I don't believe it. Sometimes I think no. You've been precautionary. He's felt something a little bit. Listen, I box. I know it. Sometimes I pull spars on a Wednesday. Sometimes
Just
on a
to be
Monday,
safe.
I pull the spar on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because I go, no, do you know what? I felt a little niggle there. Let me have whatever. And it's managing your body, and it happens when you get older. And Reece James has probably got the physical age of a player maybe 5 years older than himself because of the wear and tear, because of the injuries. But the way he's been performing for Chelsea recently isn't the vintage Reece James of the Champions League winning season in 21. It's not that Reece James. It's a different type of Reece James, but it's a Reece James that is stepping up in the big moments and being just as important. And listen, although he's only, 25 odd years old, he is a leader. He's a leader in this team, isn't he?
Probably the most experienced player in our team now, if you think about it. In terms of the different games he's been at, the finals he's been to, the trophies he's won. Reece James can win games by himself.
Now,
He actually can.
when we went to the City Ground last season, we won 3-2, we were very much debating whether or not we had made a mistake in spending big on the 2 players that we did, in Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, because there was a time when we looked at it, especially under Mauricio Pochettino, and I could be putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5 there. It could just be that he happens to be there at a time, but not necessarily a indication of his mismanagement or lack of management or whatever. But under Mauricio Pochettino, Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo did not look like they worked together. It didn't fucking look bad today, did they?
They honestly didn't. And
they haven't looked bad at all, have they?
This is the thing, right? To group them together is a very smart way of looking at this, by the way, because they complement each other so well. They obviously have a chemistry as well, by the way. They obviously get on, both on and off the pitch. And there is a sort of a cohesion building there, which means that they are going to be together in the heart of the midfield, even with a Romeo Lavia pushing them, and even with a Santos now coming in. This is why we start getting excited as Chelsea fans, because you've signed 2 incredibly young players that, Real Madrid want Enzo Fernandez now. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're obviously all of the clubs in the entire world would want a player of Caicedo's ability, right? So to have those 2 starting and playing as well as they have, and then to have players like Lavia and like Santos to come off the bench as well. This is why we get laughed at a little bit as Chelsea fans, because people go, oh, why are you getting so gassed about your team? Your team aren't even that good. You only just scraped Champions League, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is we've got reason to be excited. We've got a depth of squad now that's really exciting. Chuck a few players in this summer and you're laughing, aren't you?
I'm not being funny. People are just think, oh, biased Chelsea fan, whatever. Think what you want, right? There's just as much... I ain't saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying I think it's going to happen. But why would you not be excited when there's just as much chance of Chelsea winning the league next season as there is Arsenal?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going on.
So true.
That's what I'm going on at this moment in time, right? Is there just as much chance Chelsea winning the league next season as the team that have gone and won the league this season in Liverpool and are now already getting busy in the transfer market and signing players that I don't think any of us are raising eyebrows about? If they sign Kirkes, I don't think any of us are raising an eyebrow. If they sign Frimpong, I don't think any of us are raising an eyebrow. If they sign a player that we've been linked with in the past, as well as many other Premier League teams in Florian Wirtz, I don't think many of us would raise an eyebrow, right?
They're all improving them.
So fair enough. I'm not saying we're up there with Liverpool. I'm not saying we've got just as good a chance as Liverpool. What I am saying is we've got just as good a chance as Arsenal, because that win today dictates what we can and can't do in the summer transfer window. And I really, really hope that the board do something this window that will really, really win a lot of fans over. Well, in terms of investing in the areas that we need to.
Yeah, the targets, mate, some of them have gone in the bin today. Delap, he's in the bin. We don't need Delap anymore. Do you know what I mean? There's players...
He should have been in the bin.
Yeah, but there's players that we've been linked with that we're now like they're not even on the C list anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like we have gone a level above that. And now this is where I think we can start to sort of really throw our financial might around. For all of these people that have been saying, oh, you've been doing all these loopholes, you don't actually have all this money. Well, fuck me, we've got a lot of money now.
I mean, straight away, we look at the Osman deal. Yeah. Straight away. if we don't finish in Champions League spots, that's not a deal that we're even looking at thinking we can entertain. And maybe there will be...
Maybe it still doesn't happen.
Maybe it still doesn't. Maybe there's people that will get in the comment section now and go, hold on, look at the track record of your board. They're not bringing players in on these sort of wages. And when they did do those sort of statement signings, be it Enzo, Caicedo, whoever else, they were more so in the mould of the Todd Boehly ownership. Caicedo, you can maybe argue. But for the most part, they were sort of in that almost Todd Boehly Galactico mode, and we're not doing that anymore. Well, you can always caveat that by saying, well, hold on, since when Stanley and Stewart came in, we've not had Champions League football to be able to contend with. So we have been trying to unearth gems instead of, in the Brighton vein of spending 3 mil on them and hoping that they get 30 mil on them. Maybe we've spent 30 mil on them and hoping that maybe one day Noni Madueke might be, a transfer value of 80 mil, something like that. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. But what I do know is now we really see how good these guys are when Stanley and Stewart, pound for pound, and whoever else is involved, pound for pound, because now you're tasked with doing the same thing. Fair enough. You might want to bring them in on less than 100 grand a week. But you're shopping in a different market now, aren't you?
You are, and this is why now we can be looking for the, Williams on the left wing now. We can be looking at, a choice between an Osman or a Šeško or a Gyökeres.
Gyökeres has always been my favourite for that position. Yeah, and it looks like those talks are breaking down with Arsenal a little bit now. Yeah. Why can't we go and get him?
We absolutely can now. Like this is the thing. This is why it was such a sliding doors moment, and we could have been having such different perception of not only our club, not only the most recent league form, but the way that we then go forward in the next 3 years. Like now, this is one of those moments where we really can kick on, and this is why, beyond just being in the Champions League, which is an amazing moment for Chelsea to be back there, it means so much to us, and this is why we're so happy and why we're all celebrating, and I know you will be at home, because now we really do see the sort of light at the end of the tunnel. We've been in really dark times as a football club. We've really questioned whether the new owners are going to be able to bring the success of a Roman Abramovich. But now, like, there is light at this end of this tunnel, isn't there? There's a moment now where we can start to see some of these amazing players. We've not even talked about an Estavio. We've not even talked about a Kendry Pies. Not even talked about like a Penders even in goal.
Andre Santos coming back in. Penders, Petrovic, so many of these guys that are coming back in next season. Yeah. And the funds that are going to be raised from the likes of hopefully a Raheem Sterling, a João Felix, so many players that we know will be going out. In Nkunku, who's still
Chilwell,
looking like he's going to get 40 odd million or something like that from. There's a lot of room now, and one thing that I would very much hope from the board, urge the board, if there's anyone here watching that have anything to do with this, is follow what Liverpool are doing. Don't wait for the Conference League final. The financial consequences of that aren't anything upon what we've done today, right? Club World Cup, different story. Get it done now.
6 days until the transfer window opens, the mini window. Are you excited about the mini window? Do you think we will get signings done in the mini window?
Yes. Do you mean in between that and the Club World Cup?
Yes.
Yeah. I do think we will. Whether those are statement signings or not, I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure. But there are players, like, look, no matter what, Gyökeres is on the move this summer. Yeah. No matter what, Victor Osimhen is on the move this summer. That move might result in him staying where he is, but that's still technically a move because he will be leaving.
I feel like Osimhen's going to Saudi. I feel like that's just going to be done.
Potentially. Yeah. No matter what, there will be other players, and there'll be shock moves this summer. Like, you even hear rumours about a John Duran still being available for a transfer. There will be Šeško. There will be moves this summer, right? Yeah. You look at Rodrigo potentially. Yeah. That's a move that before today, if we hadn't finished in Champions League, that's not a move that our name's in the hats for. Not saying we're going to get him. All of a sudden, our name is in the hat when it comes to a sort of ballet for that player. Yeah, there are a lot of moves that can be done now, and now we have the keys at least. Whether they fit that door that we want to unlock, we don't know, but we have the keys at least, and that's all that I truly believe we could have asked for.
So true. So, can I just say, right, you and I have got a lot of shit this season for being as positive. The other seasons. Yeah, for being as positive as we have. And my God, we've had some ups and downs in this season. But to end it in the way that we've ended it is so exciting for the football club now. And it's so exciting for us as well.
And on a personal level, and people always think, like, if I say something like this, I'm throwing shade. I'm not. I'm talking about myself, right? And you. On a personal level, with our integrity intact.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I'm going to explain this to you lot right now, yeah? If I had have thrown my toys out the pram and let shit hit the fan, the second things got a little bit negative and the second we started playing bad football or whatever, what would my views have probably done? Probably gone up, right? And therefore my earnings would have gone up, and therefore everything that comes with it, brand deals, whatever. But I chose to keep my integrity, and that's not saying that anyone that didn't do this hasn't kept their integrity. I'm on about me personally. I didn't feel like it was time to hit the panic button, and therefore, because I don't feel like that about the club, I didn't feel like that about the content. Didn't hit the panic button. Stayed true to myself, which was stay calm, because I'll address it at the end of the season. I'll analyse it at the end of the season. And I always said throughout, when we were losing games to the likes of Ipswich, what did I say to you, whether it was on camera or off camera?
You literally said, keep the faith.
I said we'd get Champions League football and we win the Conference League.
Yeah, you did.
We're halfway there.
You did say that.
We're halfway there. We've got Champions League football. I believe we're going to win the Conference League. So there you go. Now, today's live stream was absolutely phenomenal, I should say. I can't even get the words out. And I'm so grateful for everyone that was in there. I will not be live for the Conference League final. I've got something very important on that day that I can't get out of. I will be watching it. I will be in the studio the next day with Josh, reviewing the game and also doing our end of season awards. But this man is going to be live for the Conference League final.
I will.
Off of the Josh Aveste channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. There'll be a link for it in the description to this video. So watch along with Josh. The next day, we'll be in the studio. We'll be giving our end of season awards. And there's plenty of content to come out off of the channel, including all the transfer news, all of the Club World Cup stuff. We're going to be smashing it. We're going to be in the studio. We're not ramping down. We're just getting started.
This is the thing. You might think the season is over right now, and you might be going, oh, is Chelsea content done? This is going to be a long, hot summer.
Oh, in the words of Caroline Flack, you don't get much better than that. People, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you are as buzzing as we are right now, make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to Joey and Josh. It is linked in the description. There's weekly videos coming out off of there. And as I say, the next video will be out for you guys in just a matter of days, hours, if not. People, we will see you all in the next one.